Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our third session of our digital marketing workshop. I hope everyone is fine. How is everyone this afternoon? I also hope that everyone is okay. No one was severely hampered by the rains that we had over the weekend. Nope. I'm gonna take that as a sign that everyone is fine and happy and ready to have some fun and learn some very valuable information this afternoon. So I'm Tanis and I'm from the SME Resource Center. We are going to start off this afternoon as customary at all our JMMB events with a word of prayer and also a section from our Vision of Love. So I'm going to invite Vincent, who is also from our SME Resource Center in Jamaica, because tonight we have with us persons in Jamaica as well as in Trinidad, and he's going to start us off with prayer. Go ahead, Vincent.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Almighty Father, we give thee thanks and praise for everything that is holy and righteous in thy sight. We thank you for life and the many other blessings that you have granted unto us. We thank you for your guidance and protection throughout today, and we pray that you will continue to guide and protect us throughout tonight. Lord, we pray that the information that we will receive in today's session may be beneficial to all the participants, and that it may stir response for a meaningful and fruitful discussion. This we ask in the mighty name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Vincent. Shauna, you can go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. An excerpt from our Vision of Love. The JMMB team is clear that the organization is based on unconditional love and mutual respect. This love is expressed in ongoing day-to-day working relationships and performance. Unconditional love is expressed in every interaction and is the foundation upon which the organization rests.
Thank you. Thank you, Shauna. And Shauna is also from our SME Resource Center. So that was a section from our Vision of Love. And for those, I know we have a few new persons with us tonight. So for those persons who may not be familiar with the Vision of Love, it's a document that JMMB created, and it speaks to our core values. It's also found, it's listed on our website, which is www.jmmb.com. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. So you can go to our website and read the entire document there if you would like to see what it entails. Before we get into the night session, I'd just like to point out a few things that I will be instrumental in making your afternoon more interactive and beneficial. So we have a chat window at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that button, it opens a window to your extreme right, and it allows you to communicate with us and yourself there. I'm gonna ask if you are okay with sharing your business information. You can also do it there. We have a very diverse group with us. We have persons from Trinidad and Jamaica, and we have companies that operate in literally every category, every industry that you can think of. So use this as your opportunity to do some great networking. We're also going to ask you, because we like this session to be very interactive. We are a family here at JMMB. We're going to ask you, if you don't mind, just turn on your cameras so that we can see who we're speaking with and have a very interactive afternoon. We have also indicated our contact information in the window, so you can feel free to use it to reach out to us. Any questions you have, even if it's not to do with tonight's presentation, if you want to know if we can assist you with anything, please feel free to reach out to us. So it's now time to actually meet the team, and I'm gonna ask Natalia out of our Trinidad SME Resource Center to do the introductions for us.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks, Denise, for that intro. I'm just here to introduce the rest of the team. I know you heard a lot from the team already, but to introduce the rest of the team to you guys. So joining us, we have Ms. Shani Duncan Faulkner, who is our Group SME Resource Center lead. We have Vincent Alls, who is our one of our SME resource centers. He said that lovely prayer for us earlier this evening. We have Ms. Denise Coote, who is chairing this evening's proceedings, for lack of a better word. We have Ms. Paula Forrest and myself, the other two SME Resource Center officers, and Ms. Shauna Harris, our SME administrator. So I recognized from just admitting people into the room that we actually have a couple new persons here this evening. So what I'm gonna ask is that those who can put on their cameras, please feel free to do so. Put on your mics. We want this to be as interactive a session as possible. Like Denise said, we're a big family, so feel free to jump in at any time. And I'd like to open the floor to the new participants that we have joining us this evening, just to ask you guys to give us a little bit of information on your business, a background on what you're doing right now. You know, are you affected by any of the COVID restrictions? I know that is played out and everybody is tired of hearing about that, but you know, this is really just for us to get to know each other a little bit better as we move into the session. So I'm gonna open up now. Anyone who wants to go, feel free.
Hi. This is
Hi.
This is Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
From Angie Limited. We have like a construction company and transport business.
Okay.
So I'm new to the session. I'm actually still at work, so I just kind of listening on a headset while we just wrapping some business up.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am just starting this afternoon, so I hope I didn't miss out a whole lot. I am self-employed into a green seasoning that we sell at the supermarkets. My seasoning is unique to most of the seasoning that we sell in the supermarket in that it's non-preservative, no chemicals, no additives, no anything, just fresh pear seasoning done in a certain process that allows it to be, to give it a shelf life about 3 months as long as it's refrigerated. It must be refrigerated because of the no chemicals and additives. I also am interested in putting out a YouTube channel on hospitality and tourism training tutorials. So hence the reason why I'm interested in this kind of digital marketing stuff. I need to learn how to do that so I could promote my business digitally, which I think is the way to go. But because I am old school, I am kind of fighting up with this challenge. So hence the reason I decided to get involved in it. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. We're very glad to have you. And we'll be happy to send the previous presentations and worksheets to you so that you get the full value of the session. So after this session, we'll be sure to reach out to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks. And for those of you that didn't know, Rebecca and Stephen are two of our Trinidadian clients.
Good evening. This is Trinidadian client number 3.
Hi.
My name is Lane Deshay of Levi & Associates Design Concepts. I do a few things. Well, they're all getting off the, well, I'm trying to get them all off the ground. I've currently released an app on Google Play called Boomer Dots. It's a hyper casual game. I'm working on I've hired someone to work on the Apple version for that. It's to hopefully finance my business to get into to improve the way in which we store and dispose of our garbage using a semi-automated prototype that I've designed. And well, we're going to try and progress from there. I agree with Rebecca in terms of, which is the reason why I'm joining this group, to enhance my knowledge on digital marketing. So while I may be doing it on YouTube as well, I'm looking forward to taking doing the marketing skills to create the proper video to carry across platforms like Facebook and Instagram, etc. And that's basically it in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you so much, Lane. Thanks for joining us, and I'll send you any information additionally that you need
Yes,
following the session,
I've
right?
jumped into this part here. I don't have the other information, so thank you.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
All right. Do we have any of our Jamaican clients that are willing to share with us?
Hi, good night.
Hi, good night.
Okay, sorry, my camera is not working to share my for you to see my face, but
That's
I'm
fine.
Sasha Lawler, a client of JMMB for a very long time. I was also recently recently lost my job, so I'm currently unemployed. However, I had just set up a company because I was approached by a company named Applyboard from Canada as to join as a recruitment partner. So I'll be recruiting students who would like to study internationally in Canada, US, and the UK. So in setting up this business, I know I'm going full speed ahead, seeing that no longer have a job. So I have to push my own business. I would like to know as much as possible about digital marketing to help me in terms of pushing to gain those students or my target audience in order to recruit those persons who want to study internationally. And that's it.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Sasha. I really hope it's a fruitful session for you. And of course, feel free to reach out to the Resource Center if you need any additional information. We would be more than happy to help you through this.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right. And I think that we'll take one more before we get into this evening's session because I don't want to hold it back and make you guys miss out on anything. Any last takers? No? Okay, Denise, I'm going to hand back over to you then so we could get into the session.
Okay, thank you so much, Natalia. So we are actually at week 3. It is a 5-week course and we have gone through 2 weeks already. So those persons who were here from the beginning, we would have looked at how to identify your unique value proposition, which took us through looking at your vision statement, your mission statement, your company's core values. And then last week, we looked at how to identify your unique buyer persona. So that would be creating who your ideal client is. And for those persons who indicated that they weren't here, as Natalia said, don't worry, we'll make sure that we send out the information so that you're able to review and catch up. And if it is that you need assistance, our co-host from Imagen Nation has been very helpful in reviewing what you have put together with your vision and your mission statements and creating your buyer persona. So feel free to email either myself, Natalia, or we'll also provide Imagen Nation's contact information so you can feel free to reach out to any of us. What we're going to be doing, a little brain teaser, just to see what we have learned so far. We are going to be having a little quiz, and there will be a small token for the person who is able to answer the question. So what we're going to be asking for persons who were here last week is, what is the audience groups that we discussed in terms of your buyer persona last week? So there are 4, I'll give a little hint. There are 4 groups, and I'm gonna ask that we start with the oldest category and work our way up. So you can do this by using the chat button. You can raise your hand there. So I'm gonna ask that you indicate that you'd like to start by doing that. Natalia, I'm gonna ask you to just assist in terms of who is the first person to raise their hand.
1 second. Let me pull up my participants. Okay, so we have Mr. Boyd. Mr. Boyd is raising his hand. Go ahead.
You have baby boomers, then you have Gen Z, Gen X, and millennials.
Okay. One group is missing. So it's 4 groups.
Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, and baby boomers.
Go again?
Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, and baby boomers.
Okay. What order is it in? So go from the oldest to the youngest group.
So baby boomers.
Uh-huh.
Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X.
Okay, so somebody has been paying attention. So we will contact you with what your token is, and she is right. So the 4 categories are baby boomers, and that refers to persons who are between the ages of 54 to 72. Then our next generation is from age 30, sorry, they should have been 38 to 53. And then our millenniums is from age 22 to 37, and our youngest category is up to age 21. So this week, now that we know what our value proposition is, we know exactly who we're going to be targeting, this week we're going to be looking at creating your content. And we are going to have Imagen Nation, who has been with us for the last 2 sessions, to continue helping us to build out our marketing content. And Deborah is going to take us through that exercise. For persons who are new, Deborah is a very experienced in marketing consultant. She works with the company called Imagen Nation, and just by the company name, you can tell that they're good at marketing, right? And she has worked with both local and international companies. She has worked with Red Bull, so you know that she has worked with some very good companies. So I'm gonna ask Deborah to go ahead and take us through tonight's content. I'm gonna allow her to share her screen now.
Hi, good night, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, indicate in the chat for those of you who don't have your mics. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right.
Deborah, we're hearing a little bit of breeze in the background.
In the background? Okay, I'll have that adjusted.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Let me just bring up the presentation for today. Now, for those of you who are just joining us this week, we've gone through quite a bit, but not to worry, as the team has mentioned already, we are more than in touch with quite a bit of persons from the sessions. So feel free to drop your contact information in the chat so that we can forward you the previous presentations and exercises, because there would have been work already done, as we will see. And the objective of this course has really been to work with business owners and persons who are just starting or started already and need assistance, who may not be at the level where they feel like they want to outsource this, or they want to learn for themselves, so that when they do outsource it, they know exactly what it is they're looking for in a partner. And a lot of persons who do this, both business owners as well as companies, are actually, they don't have a strategy documented. And so going through this process is actually putting you a couple steps ahead of your competition as well as others in the industry. And so as we go through the presentation, I'm just going to take you through what's already been done, so you have a little context, and so you can actually prepare yourself for those of you who may have already done some of this for yourself. So we set up your unique value proposition, which would have been vision, mission, and core values of your business. Again, we can send you that presentation as well as the exercise that went along with it. And feel free, as I mentioned, to share them with us. We will give feedback. Both the team from the Resource Center as well as my team have been reviewing them and in dialogue with different persons participating. Then last week, we would have gone through, as Denise mentioned, the target audience, the different stages of the customer journey, and then creating the buyer personas. And what was very interesting is that we determined that there are many businesses, and you can indicate for me if there are businesses here tonight, new businesses, that you have maybe multiple services or different sides to the business where maybe your target audience or your target customer may be completely different one from the other. So maybe you offer products versus services under the same business name. Any businesses like that here with us tonight who are joining us for the first time? Anyone? Any new businesses want to jump in and let me know that they're joining us for the first time who may have this issue where they have more than one target audience, whether it's by gender, whether you have one service that particularly caters to a business versus one that's consumer directed. Anyone?
The one that I have right now currently is a product business, but I want to get into the YouTube business where that is going to be service. And it's going to be a different target audience based on the both of them.
Based on that. So when you receive this presentation, Rebecca, and the exercise that we did last week, you will notice that you will probably have to create more than one buyer persona and more than one content plan, as we're going to work through tonight, for each area of your business, and that's fine. There is no one way to do it, and there's no one target audience. And a lot of what we went through last week was looking at that, that you can have more than one target buyer persona.
Okay.
So as we go along into today's activity, there is also an activity for tonight. I am not sure, can you indicate in the chat if everyone would have received that? If not, with your emails, we can ask for it to be resent to anyone. It would be the brain dump activity where we're going to actually have your ideas down on paper. Would everyone have received that via email already? Yes, I see Rebecca holding up her printout. If you didn't receive it, just drop your email address and we'll try to have it sent out to everyone. If not, you could actually just open a blank Word document or a blank notepad document, because I'm going to have the questions up on the screen that you can just jot down as we go along, and then you will have the actual document sent to you during the course of the evening. So we'll be brainstorming the content types and topics, and then we'll be looking at ideally selecting 2 platforms that match your ideal persona and their customer journey. And I've also outlined what's to come in the following weeks is your content calendar and the way you approach scheduling, as well as executing and measuring. We'll look at some tools that are easy to use for persons who may not have experience, like creating graphics, etc. Some tools that are free or, you know, low priced for those of you who want to go about this yourself. So we're going to jump right into it. What we are embarking on is to create an overall marketing strategy. So far, the documents you would have been working on all make up a part of that document strategy, that digital strategy, where you've done your vision, mission, core values, we've created your target audience and your buyer persona. And now, as we go into the content plan and the calendar, all of this becomes part of your overall strategy. And this is a detailed blueprint of why, where, what, and how for all the business content that you use on the different platforms. Now, to be clear, this is not just about social media, this is digital in general. So we will talk about websites, we'll talk about vlogs, we'll talk about creating ebooks, etc. And so we've done why and where already, and tonight we're getting into the what. So when we would have gone through the presentation last week, can anybody tell me what, or even our new participants, the stages that I have highlighted in yellow, What are those a part of? Awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, and advocacy. What is that process called? Anyone remember? I'm checking the chat. Anyone remember what that? Someone has answered. Customer journey, correct. So what we have done is look at your customer journey based on what you indicated your target audience, maybe one of your target audiences is, and then we discussed the different platforms they were on. And now we're going to get into the type of content that works for each stage of the customer journey. So we've highlighted here in yellow, some of them in the yellow clouds, different types, and we're going to get into some details on those and how to get those out on which platforms, etc., and even which age groups they work for. So in each area of your customer journey, you realize that some are better suited than others, but what we'll discover is that one piece of content may actually serve for more than one area of the customer journey, depending on who the customer is or at what stage they joined the customer journey. Paulette is asking, is it possible to have two target markets? Yes, it is. And so, as I mentioned, if you have two target markets, then we'll create two buyer personas that match those target markets, and then we can create an individual digital strategy for those people. Or you may find that one platform may facilitate different content that reaches both target markets in one place. It just depends on how each target market uses the platforms. So we'll get into that a little more tonight when we look at the different types of content. All right, so right away we are into the interaction. I want everyone to unmute and tell me, there are no wrong answers, what type of content do you think I have here displayed on the screen? Name this content type, not the platform, but what is it? So Kwesi saying tweet. Tweet is related, Kwesi, directly to the platform.
Could it be hashtags?
Twitter.
That's the platform. What content type? So what do you do on
hashtags?
Twitter? No, not a Twitter feed. What do you do? Tell me literally, what do you do?
Tweet.
Passing people business.
Text. Somebody put it in the chat. Text. It is just text. You can include links, you can attach photos, but mainly it is a platform for text. And so the different types of text now can be event updates. You can post news. As you can see, a lot of news agencies use Twitter because that's one of the main functions of Twitter is immediate updates. Quick persons just want to scroll through the feed and see different snippets of information. So there's a word limit there. News, company updates, announcements. So I want somebody else to tell me now, what other than event updates and news and these types of announcements could you use text or a text only platform to do? So it's your business. What could you use text to do to promote?
To advertise your business, to advertise the products or services that you provide.
So promotion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so promotion is one. Can somebody give me one more? Anything at all? So, okay, Lisa says reminders. Yes, reminders is a very good one, especially when we start getting into cross feeds, when you would have probably had the messaging out on one platform and you're sending out reminders and things that link back to the original content. You can use text only, or a platform like Twitter that uses text only, even WhatsApp and SMS texts to do that. And those reminders and promotions, I don't know if anyone has ever experienced a geofencing promotion where you're in a particular area or driving past a certain store and you get a text message to say, Lee's Fifth Avenue is having a sale, and it happens to be that you were nearby. That's a form of text promotion that is digital. It has reached the person, and it's called geofencing. So they fence a geographical area, and once your phone pings off of the digital tower that's nearest to where their location is, they send a text. So even that is a form of promotion and reminders. That is something we could all look into. Next content type, jump in again. What's this content type? Not the platform. All right, yes, Aisha has the graphics, images, yes. So pictures, very good. So all the same. And this type of content now, visual story, yes, again, this type of content is inclusive of text, but what it has done is created the text into images and graphic backgrounds, maybe templates, so that it is actually a little more engaging for the platform that it's on. So text only works for some platforms, and then images work better for others. And as you can notice, for those of you who would have joined us in the first session, I have a vision and mission image with the same text that you would have used to write in an image format with a graphic icon representing the company's vision and mission. So right away, you have two pieces of content that you would have already worked on during this workshop that becomes relevant to a platform that's both text-based and image-based. Can anyone now jump in and give me two more examples of what you can use images for? So we have product posts already. We have brand images, so your logo. We have quotes, tips, reminders. Try this idea. Give me another example of something you could do with image content.
Can it be used for example, let's say you want to preempt something major that's coming. So you use imagery to kind of build some hype or anticipation around what's coming next.
Yes, that's called a teaser or a trailer. That can be used for image as well. One more example. So that was a very good one. Yes, Lisa, brand awareness falls under brand images that have their second. So again, it comes back to your logo, use of your taglines, use of things that are familiar with your brand fall under brand images. So I want one more example that we don't have there.
Sales in general?
Sales is a little general because all of your product posts are sales. And so by posting your product and posting the price, you're covering sales in general.
Okay.
Someone here says events. Yes, events is a good one. So it's still a bit general, just like sales, but it's a little more specific to the fact that you may be having a pop-up, you may be popping up at a location, and you want persons to know beforehand. So imagery is a good way to do that as well. Kwesi is saying contact information for sure. It's still text, but you can put it in an image format, just so we have these safety tips here. They are text, but they are done in a graphic template. And so they're a little easier to digest than if it was just black and white text only that was coming up on your screen. So it engages persons a little more, even though there's quite a bit of heavy text on it. Moving right along. I know everybody's gonna get this one right away. This content type. Okay.
YouTube.
No, that's the platform. This is the type of content video, because you can use video in more than just YouTube, and we'll go through that later. So this is a video, and more specific, this is a video that is showcasing, it's a bit of behind the scenes,
sanitizing,
product demo that is a little more difficult. It's more difficult to communicate this type of thing in just an image. This is showing you that this company actually, they rent porta potties for events, and actually when they do this, they have an attendant there, they have mirrors, they have hand washing stations. They sometimes, if the client asks for it, they'll provide free Wi-Fi in the bathroom area. So good for like your corporate events and your Christmas parties, but way more effective than if you were trying to list all of that in a photo, correct? Way
Yes.
more engaging. So you can do behind the scenes. You can actually just set up your phone and show someone how your product is made, or talk about the benefits of your product. You can do a demo. You can do video testimonials. So you can ask a customer or a past customer of yours to make a video to say, you know, I had a great experience with this person. And you can do Q&As. You can do an interview format. You can do trailers, as someone said before, teasers. So trailers or previews, and you can also go live on different platforms. Can anybody give me 2 other ways we can use videos? Think outside the box, because I purposely listed these here so you wouldn't get comfortable. I want you to think outside the box of what you could do with video. So think about your own business. What would be a good video for your business?
People are saying in the chat, product features, installation guide,
An
recommendations.
installation guide is a very good one.
Tutorials.
Tutorials, yes, that falls right along your line of thinking in terms of tutorials.
And in our business, property tours.
Yes, property tours is very good, especially with what's happening now. Virtual tours, you want to have an open house, but you know the turnout may not be so great with the persons and the spike. So you do a virtual tour and you actually broadcast. You use images to promote beforehand, and then on the day you actually go live. And Lisa does coaching videos and client feedback. That's excellent. And actually there's a lot you can do with pre-recorded webinars or even live webinars like this one. So even this is content that we are here discussing, because guess what, JMMB is recording the session for reference, and the chat information that's there when you capture person's data and network in the chat group, when you leave your email addresses, it's data that you're capturing, and that now helps you to retarget the very same participants who are here for you to network and reach out and start to build your database. So even this format that we're in now, on a workshop, a video workshop, is still a content type, and the platform that we're on is Zoom, and this is part of a digital marketing strategy that JMMB has, that they've seen a need and we weren't able to join in person, but here we are still together and still sharing. And so start to think outside of just the traditional YouTube that comes to mind, or even Instagram. Digital is not just social media. Digital is wide reaching, and there's a lot that we can do. And this last one is one that a lot of persons are not capitalizing on, but I would love to see us get more into, especially in your different areas of expertise.
Deborah, sorry, quick question, please. The last one you referenced, can it also be used to announce news that is outside of the ordinary? So other than your product post, testimonials, coaching, etc., some major event or accomplishment?
Yes, for sure. For sure. So, and that can be done through some of the formats we mentioned before. You could actually be receiving an award, an accolade, and you could actually be either live from that event where the award is being presented, or you could actually do a bit of a setup with the award and a mini interview talking about the award. So that type of content is something you can do internally. You don't have to get a big video production set up for stuff like that, and it falls under like brand awareness. So it's something that's outside your direct sales and products, but it's still talking about what's happening in the business and what's happening in your day-to-day operations. And as we have been discussing over the past 2 weeks, marketing, especially digitally, is more than about, oh, here is my product, buy me 20% off, call us today. It's gone beyond that. Persons want education, persons want information, and persons want to interact and connect. And so a video like that is actually quite good for them to see something outside of the constant product that a lot of persons push, and they start to see a face to the brand.
Okay.
So jump in for me here, guys. What kind of content is this that I have on the screen? Just take a guess. There are no wrong answers.
Picture. Oh.
All right. Somebody says an e-brochure. Very close.
This looks
Catalog.
like a brochure. Yeah.
All right. So this is a flipbook catalog. And so if you actually go on many other platforms, even Instagram, a lot of persons will have a link in their bio. And sometimes it leads to their website, and other times it may actually lead to something you can download of theirs. They may upload a flyer digitally. They may upload a catalog digitally, because a lot of times persons even want to know, well, what else do you do? And so digitizing your product catalog or your price list is also a way that you can go through what you have for your business already, and just quick and easy in the digital format, find a hosting website, Flip Snack or Issue, one of those, create a link, and then when the persons click on it, and I have it here in black, you can share the links via email when you are talking to potential clients who ask, well, what else do you do? Rather than every single time you send an attachment, you have your link ready to go, or you can send them to your website to say, click on the link there, or send them to your Instagram to say, click on the link in our bio, and you can embed it in other types of content to be clicked on. And one of my favorites is that you can create a landing page from any of your other platforms where you collect the person's digital information, for example, their email address or their Facebook handle, in exchange for example, an ebook. So I would like to challenge anyone. What is the link platform? So Lisa, there are several. You have one called Link in Bio, and you have one called Linktree, and it's very simple. And these are ones that your Linktree and your LinkedIn bio can be used in your Instagram bio. So this is one that we've used before. Even it's not up now, our website is what's up on our Instagram page now. But if I change the link, you can click on any of those 4 buttons and it takes you somewhere. And so the custom branding catalog button takes you to a direct digital flipbook of our digital catalog. And what you can start to do is use the intellectual property information that you have for your business already. So for example, Lisa, you have a coaching business. You can actually condense some information that you don't mind giving away for free and create a link like this, like a mini ebook or even a checklist for your target audience. And in exchange for you giving them access to the checklist, they have to give you their email address first. So there are different ways to now start growing your, so you just completed an ebook. So you can decide to either sell it, or what you can decide to do is create a landing page that basically you advertise it on Instagram, you can advertise it via video, and then when you go and create your link platform now, and you put the link there, you create something where they have to give you their name, their email address, and other information before they get the link to your ebook. And so right away, you started to build a database of leads. And you find that that approach actually weeds out a lot of persons, because the time it's taking them to enter their name and contact information, you'll know if they're serious or not. A lot of persons will click things and download them and open them immediately. But if they give the contact information, then you are one step closer to being able to convert that lead to a customer, to a call, and some kind of contact. At minimum, build brand awareness on your audience, and it's an audience that you may not have had before. So that's actually the beginning of a sales funnel there, where you start to build your database by using material that you already have at your disposal. So everyone with me so far? Is this something a little different that persons may have not thought about in terms of when they thought about digital marketing, but looks like something that is something you could try. Yes, no, maybe. Too much work. All right, great.
Yes,
All right, because guess what? Some of us, if you already have a flyer, it's somewhere to start rather than, you just have this flyer sitting here and you have the digital version of it. It becomes something clickable that you can share as well. Okay, persons are saying you have an ebook, so you need to think about how persons get access to that ebook without you having to come, the one-on-one. Now, what's the easiest way to get it to persons while you're asleep? If they can click on that link and you get their information, then once you download it and you already have their information, it's theirs to do with as they please. Or you can put it in an e-commerce version where the price point is very low. Maybe it's $2, maybe it's $5.99, depending on the length of the ebook. Maybe it's editable and it has a template, etc. There's so many versions of it that you can do, and this is still digital content, guys. And these are the types of things that set you up as an expert in your industry, because it's more than just, oh, hire me and work with me. You're providing value, and you've created a way to get persons' information into your database. So we are going to jump right into our exercise now that the content types are fresh. And I want you to keep in mind that when you think about your buyer persona, when we thought about the target audiences last week and what they want from you, what does that age group and that person want from your brand? They want to create connection. They want to know who you are. Do they want to meet your team? Do they want to know the owner? Do they want to know the experience you have? Do they want, or are they more interested in the quality of your product and how it matches up against what's already on the market? So they want personalization, they want connection, they want authenticity, and they want transparency. So I want you to think about that in addition to the content types as we jump into activity. And this activity is a brain dump. And basically all that is all these ideas swirling around in our minds now that we could possibly do, start to do, have done halfway, but we're not finished yet. We're gonna just get it all out on paper in no particular order and get it off of our minds, and then we can organize it by priority, by what's realistic, by what you may need help with, by what you may need to outsource, and what you can do yourself. And so you start to not overwhelm yourself trying to do too many things at once and then nothing gets done. So we're going to just open the document or open a blank document if you haven't received it, and we're going to write down everything that's been knocking around in our heads and list them in no particular order on the first page, and then you'll see the following pages and areas start to put them in some kind of order for you, and then we'll go from there. So let's go. I'm going to do it with you. So let me come out of presentation mode, and feel free to have your mics on. Ask me questions while we're going through this, because it is an interactive session. If there's something you're not sure about, put it down on your first page where we have all possibilities and all ideas. And then as you start to narrow it down into what is a must-have for your brand now versus what is a want, but you're not so sure, you've been thinking about it. And then the last one we have is a nice to have, but maybe you're not sure how to execute it. You don't think you have the resources. You don't know if it will work or if it's even necessary, but maybe you want to try it or you've seen someone else try it. But don't get bogged down in trying to organize them right away. Let us start with just getting our ideas out of our heads so that we can think a little more clearly. Everybody ready to go? So if you don't have the document, you can just open a blank notepad, write in your notebooks, or use a blank Word document to start this. I want to hear some ideas. Anybody have anything in mind they want to share as we are going through? I'll be doing it for you, with you, for my own business. And so we'll start to go through the whole exercise together.
One of the major things, I don't know if this fits into what the objective is. One of the major things that I think of is how to stand out or how to attain some kind of digital competitive advantage, especially now in this time, in this new normal where so much is happening, customers have a different focus. How do you set yourself apart in the digital space?
Well, several ways. One way is to that first exercise that we did with your unique value proposition. A lot of that has to do with research, or what is your competition doing and what are they not doing. Another approach is your user experience. What are the pains that your customer has? So what is your business?
I do the cream liqueurs.
Repeat?
Cream liqueurs. Alcoholic beverage.
Oh, okay, yes, Regina. Okay, yes. Because I couldn't see who was highlighted. Okay, so Regina, for you, in standing out in the digital space, it's about user experience. So how do they get your product? How do they access your product? And making that as easy as possible. So can persons actually contact you digitally, order online and get it delivered? You know, what are you doing that's different from any other brand? And that's a combination of market research in terms of researching your competition, as well as I said, user experience. So tapping into creating the best start to finish experience for your clients and getting your product to them in the most convenient ways, getting the information to them in the most convenient ways, payment, ease of payment, ease of doing business, because all of that is still a strategy, and it encompasses the digital space. Because if you put your system in place and make it digital, then especially in a time like this where I don't have to leave my house and go into a supermarket and interact and have that fair, because a lot of what's happening now is a fair, then that starts to make you stand out, in addition to just your content and in addition to just, you know, how your brand looks. It starts to create that kind of loyalty where persons know that okay, we don't want to go out, but we're going to have a little get together on Saturday, but nobody wants to go to the supermarket to get anything. And I can testify to that. I actually wanted to get something at Price Smart here in Jamaica last week, and I couldn't find anybody to go for me. I didn't want to go myself. And so even something like that, where there are certain areas, certain high traffic areas where your product may be sold, but persons may not want to be going out right now. Because in Jamaica, that particular store is kind of central to where all the new cases have been popping up. But if I wanted the option now to have the product delivered, then you can either start to partner with where your product is located, and do those supermarkets have a delivery option? And if not, maybe you partner with a courier service and you advertise it and you pay a courier. But you make that process digital so that persons know they can just WhatsApp, they can Instagram, they can website, go add it to their cart, pay with a card, or they can a lot of these courier apps now allow you to just select whether you're going to pay cash or card on delivery. So if you can set up a website that has the payments installed on it, then you can create something where they can still select or identify how they're going to pay for it when it's delivered. And that becomes you standing out in the digital space, doing something that your competitor may not be doing. But don't get it twisted. Once they see you do it, they're going to copy you, because that is one of the largest forms of flattery. but
Yeah.
it will still let you stand out. And so you have to build on that. You have to still always reinvent. So maybe it's quicker delivery, maybe it's more payment options, so maybe they can do a bank transfer, or
Yeah.
different options of accessibility. Is still your user experience and your sales process, but it's digital, and that's still part of your digital strategy, and that's something that you can market. So right away, the very systems you use in your business become content for you to say, hey, I do island-wide delivery, hey, I accept payment by XYZ, and all of that is content for you to either make a video on, of the courier dropping off your package to somebody and showing the payment actually happening, or an image of the person receiving their package. There's so many ways to now use that very same business process that you set up, and that becomes content. So don't think about standing out in the digital space and marketing as something separate from what you do in your day-to-day business. Think about how to convert what you do in your day-to-day business to communicate it to everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So we should be writing our ideas, and I hope that got some person's creative juices flowing. So you can do different things, and I'm here thinking about other things that we can do that we have not done yet too.
I think we're gonna have to start picking on people, Deborah.
Yeah, everybody's gone so quiet. All right, I want an idea. Somebody tell me what they have down on paper. Somebody share some ideas that they've gotten down out of their heads already.
So basically, good evening. So basically, we're just writing down any word or group of words that pertain to the business that we're doing. That's what we're doing right now.
Yes, and so you're thinking about how it can be content. So is it your team? What's your unique selling proposition that you could turn into content? So you can do your team. Is it your expertise? Is it a particular certification? You're looking at all these possibilities that can now be content. You don't have to think about what format it has to take yet. This is where we're just starting to get all the ideas out on paper. And then when we start categorizing them and we reach further in, we start to talk about, well, what platforms are best for this type of content and what format is best for that. You don't have to think about that yet, but just put the idea down. And then this session is really more interactive for me to help you determine where these ideas belong and what you can do in digital with these same ideas.
So Rudolph is actually saying in the chat, networks, advice, technology, training.
All of that is good. Technology and training. I mean, we're here doing a training, so using images to promote that you're going to have a workshop or a webinar, and hosting that training webinar via Zoom, via crowdsource, all of that is part of your digital marketing strategy. Or for it to be long-term, Rudolph, you can also do YouTube so that the content is always there. And you can do both. You can actually do a live and record it. So you benefit from this kind of live interaction here in the first instance of the webinar when it's hosted, but you can actually have the camera set up to also record you for posting on YouTube for the content to also have longevity and have access beyond just the audience you get for the webinar. So guys, put your ideas down so that we can just let you know, ideas and ways that you can capitalize on it. Maybe a fresh pair of eyes will give you a new perspective. And let me open the chat so that I can see them too.
What about in the case where I would like to do the YouTube channel, can I use like my YouTube channel, even though it's like hospitality and tourism that I want to do, but can I use it to promote the products that I now have in my business? Can I go that way as well?
For sure. So once it's the same business name and it's relevant to the business channel, you can do different types of content on one platform that reaches more than one target audience. So your training and your tutorials may be one target audience, and your product videos may be another target audience, but YouTube is a video platform. And so once you've done gone through your target audience and you realize that YouTube is something they use, then that's a way to go. And one good thing about platforms like YouTube is that you can cross feed them, in that you can actually post the video on Facebook or IGTV as a short trailer or a snippet of the video, and then include the YouTube link for the longer video that persons can then click on if they're interested in. So you can create one video and use it across multiple places. And even that is something that we get into as we go on, guys. So let's go, because we still have some examples to go through that I want to show you how this can be beneficial. And so, Rebecca, it sounds that you are already quite committed to doing your YouTube. So you would then take that idea you have on page 1 and put it onto your, what are you committed to getting done? So if it is your YouTube channel, then now commit to starting, even if it's just to use your phone, get somewhere with some good lighting and do one video and post it, see how it goes. Maybe you don't use YouTube to start if you don't want to, if you're nervous about that. Maybe you use a blog site that facilitates video, or you share a short IGTV video first to get your audience warmed up, and then you start to advertise, hey, would you guys be interested if I was to have these videos on YouTube? And you can even have persons vote. So you start to actually use the platform, the very same video, to do market research, because maybe your video is more suited to an age group that uses IGTV over YouTube, or uses another form. Maybe they use podcasts, because a lot of professionals and young people listen to podcasts while they're walking. And so maybe you don't need to get in front of a camera. Maybe you need to just do a voiceover. So those are questions that you start to ask yourself once you get it down on paper. So one thing that I want to do is do more of these webinars, and maybe look into a platform that does it pre-recorded, so that persons can just give us their contact information and then get a webinar video where, you know, persons are not available today, so they miss out on the session. Maybe it's pre-recorded somewhere that they can click on the link. So that's one thing that I will commit to getting done. And then there are also things that, yeah, it's nice to have, but you have not committed. Maybe your business is not there yet, but you know, in the future, that's what you could put in what is a want, but you haven't thought it through. And then remember, you still have what's nice to have, but you're not sure how to execute, or if it will work, or if it's necessary. Anybody have anything in that category where they're toying with the idea, but they can't see the way, can't see how it's going to work, can't see how to start? I want one of those ideas.
For me, as simple as it may sound, it's doing videos.
Okay.
Because it's a bit of just coming out of the comfort zone. You can have nice picture images that once the picture quality is good, you don't really have much more work to do. Mm-hmm. But with a video, there's so much other considerations in terms of editing, if you are in it, if you think you look right or good enough. So it's a totally different, well, for me, a totally different space. And, you know, it's a bit different, even though it's still on a digital platform.
All right. So one thing that I learned from my own coach, because I have a coach too, is the only way to get good at videos is to do videos.
Yes.
Start.
Makes sense.
Just do videos. You don't need a camera. You don't need a ring light. You find somewhere that has good daylight, sit by a window, set up your phone, practice. Because a lot of things, yes, quality is one of those things about engagement, but content is very important. And I've actually had a coach say to us, listen, don't get on live if you don't have a script. because people join your live, and then when they realize you're rambling and you're all over the place, they come off, which defeats the whole purpose. So things like that, writing a script, you know, jotting down what you want to say, write the script and record yourself. If you don't like it, then you do it again. And what have you lost? If you don't want to post it, then you don't post it, but you know what you need to work on. Maybe you realize what you may need to invest in for your business, right? So one of the things that we realized we had to invest in was one of the standing ring lights, which is what's providing the lighting for us now. Because if I was to just use the lighting in the house, you wouldn't be able to see anything. But because long term this was a goal, then you start to also see what resources you need to invest in for your business. And as I said, it may not be, I mean, our ring light wasn't $70, right? So it doesn't have to be a big expensive professional camera. Maybe you just need to upgrade the phone that you have for the business. And it's a business investment, it's a business expense. So when you're doing your business financials, you include your phone as one of the assets when you are doing your business finances. Those are things that as business owners, a lot of times we make the mistake, and we don't put those types of things and deduct them or account for them, because there is a portion of it that we use for personal, but you still have to think about how to get this done, especially in this time where we don't have the money to throw away to hire somebody to come and do it for us, when it may not be necessary when you're just starting out. Long term, when you realize maybe you've done a few of them, maybe you start getting followers and you start getting traction, and maybe you reach 1,000 subscribers or whatever, then that's when you maybe say, well, maybe I need some help because now this has grown. But you've started to see the traction and you've already tested whether or not it's going to work. So you've done the research, but so you don't have to jump and just spend the money up front without knowing. So test it. I would challenge you all, test it. Do a video this week. Just write a little script and just do a video. Lisa here says script and keep it short. It's your first one. Just do something, do tips, do a recipe, do a how-to, just show your product, something. Introduce your product, introduce your brand, introduce yourself, anything. Just do a video, because video is the #1 type of content now that's being digested. So I have a lot here in the chat. Talent reels, that's a good one, Aisha. And one of your ideas is getting films onto international platforms such as Netflix. A lot of films have gotten onto those platforms via film festivals. So maybe you need to get in touch with, what is the association that is running for filmmakers, getting links there. Who are the persons in the film industry, and finding out, because I know that there are Caribbean films that get into film festivals, etc., and eventually do make it onto streaming platforms. But you have to map out a plan.
I've got a stupid question.
Go ahead.
When you do the video, if you just decide, as you are recommending, to just do a video, then on to what platform do you now upload it so that, people could see it, or whatever the case may be? How then, because I've been looking into doing a lot of research into this YouTube thing, and it's asking for so many things like channel art and thumbnails and, all these different things. So it's been months now I've been trying to do this, get this YouTube channel going up, but every time you try to do a research and you read so many different things, you get more and more confused as to, how to
do it. All right. So, yeah. Rebecca, what I would suggest is two things. Is your target audience using YouTube? Who is your target audience? And when we send you that presentation and that exercise, it will talk about the age group of persons and what platforms they're using. That's one. Two, if it's something you're doing yourself, then maybe you want to start on Instagram. As I said, Instagram has, or even Facebook, Instagram has an app called IGTV, where it's the same phone that you use to take photos to upload on Instagram, but you can upload a longer video on IGTV and you test it there. And that way you can also, if you have an email database, you can actually create the video as just an MP4 link as well and send it out via email if you have a list of clients, to let them know. You do it in a newsletter format as well. And that way you start to actually build an audience before you jump into the YouTube, because I do understand the challenge that you have. And sometimes if you don't already have, do you have other digital materials? So do you have your logo done digitally already? You're muted.
Yes. I just have like a drawing of it and stuff like that, but it's not digital.
All right. So in the first presentation, when you receive that, there is a list, a checklist of things that I talk about, your brand checklist. So your color scheme, your logo, your business cards. Once you have all of those things, those are the thumbnails that you use and upload onto the YouTube. But if you're not there yet, then you just create a checklist of all the things you need, and then you get them done and you check them off one at a time and ensure that you have everything that you need to get yourself started.
I'm in the process of doing a checklist.
Yeah. So that's definitely what I would do where that's concerned, because you need to have that brand imagery for the YouTube platform.
Yeah.
So somebody says, I was surprised at the number of views of a live video I did on Facebook, and in 5 minutes over 200 views. We are too concerned about how we look most times than the content we do as coaches. A coach told me once, and that's true. And even doing a live, Rebecca, so again, going live from Facebook, if you have a following there on your personal Facebook page already, you could actually do a Facebook live introducing the fact that, hi guys, I'm going to start a video series on this topic. And you do an introduction of what your idea is and the outline, and then have people contact you if they're interested. And you could also run a survey to find out what platform they would actually prefer it to be on. Because maybe, as I said, maybe it's not a video, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's IGTV over YouTube to start. Maybe it's links to videos on your LinkedIn professional profile as well. Because if you have years of experience, you should have your LinkedIn profile showing your resume and your expertise as well. So there are different platforms that you can put the video on. You don't have to start with YouTube. So we are jumping down now because time is going, and I have some exciting stuff to share with you guys. So connecting the dots. So as you go through this activity, can I just ask everyone to at least indicate, whether in the chat or otherwise, everyone at least started this exercise, yes? Yes, I see yeses. So you've started, even just page 1. So then I can look forward to some emails with the completed exercise this week. And then I'll have some to pull on for next week, because it's the same file I'm going to use next week now to create the calendar to talk about how we schedule the content. So, all right, I'm getting lots of yeses. So as you go through and finish up the exercise, guys, think about what is the purpose behind your content. Is it about connecting the dots? Is it entertainment? You want to inspire, you want to educate, you want to have a conversation, you want to connect, or you want to promote? Peter Gay, so what I had suggested, if you hadn't gotten the document, is to just open a blank Word document or use your notebook and then drop your email address, and when the presentation is sent to you, we'll also resend the exercises that have been done before, including this one this week. But it was a Word document with the different categories, so using a blank one to start is still good. So is it conversation, is it connection, or is it promotion? And it has the different ideas there, so you can actually, when you start to categorize what it is you want to achieve, then when you move on from the first page onto the other 2 or 3 sections, you start to organize them by, what you're committed to doing and what's most important right now. And then you prioritize, what I'm going to do. Don't try to get it all done at once. and what you still need to work through, maybe what you still need to create a checklist for, and then what you haven't, you don't have any idea how you're going to create it, but I want to do it. And that's the third section. Yes, it can be a combo, Lisa. So it doesn't, you are free to do what you think works for your target audience or audiences, because as I said, as you will see when we're going to this next exercise, is that more than one piece of content can be used for different parts of your customer journey, and more than one platform can be used for more than one audience. Just depends on how they use the platform.
Deborah, before you move on, we just have one question in the chat that I think you missed before all the S's.
Yeah.
Karen is asking, how long does a viewer need to look at a video for Facebook to count it as a view?
That I'll have to look into Karen. I know the Instagram one, but I am not familiar with the Facebook length of time. But I do know they have a limit, just like Instagram does. I'm not sure if because they share ownership, if it's the same. I know with Instagram it's like the first 15 seconds before it jumps over into asking you to continue watching. But I will look into that for you, Karen, and then I will respond. Leave your email address, and then we will look into it for you and let you know. It may be the same or it may be longer.
Thanks.
All right, so we're moving right along. So as I said, this is just matching content type to platform, and this is just the social media platforms. As I said, you have website, you have blogs, vlogs, podcasts. So it's a lot of research, as you may start to experience. But these platforms, what they do offer is that analytics, that test and measure, that does this work, does that work. And that's why I will always say, maybe test it here first, because you can get the analytics of what's working and what's not working. We tried doing video inspirational quotes. Peter Gay, was that still animated text?
No, it wasn't text. So we got somebody to video. So we had a script that will have them read. So we use like some financial quotes, and then we'll relate it back to our company, and we'll have somebody voice over. But
what's your business?
It hasn't been. It's a peer-to-peer lending platform.
And what platform did you use it on?
YouTube.
YouTube. Peter Gay, is your target audience on YouTube on a regular basis, and how long were those videos? Is it something that you could put on IG?
It's no longer than probably 1 minute 30 seconds, if so long. Some might be shorter.
So the thing about YouTube is that if you don't have somewhere else feeding people to YouTube first, then it will take longer to build your subscribers, because usually persons have an audience already somewhere else that they say, hey guys, I posted a new video today, and then it's in the YouTube video that they say, hey, subscribe to the channel. So what I would suggest you could try is Facebook or Instagram first with a cut the video, and then have the link to the YouTube video in your Instagram bio or your Facebook in the caption. And then
less than the 1 minute?
Yeah, less than the IGTV takes 1 minute, so that would be fine. But when you do IGTV as a feed post, it cuts the 1 minute. It has a little snippet, and then you press a button that says continue watching video. So you could upload the same 1 minute video to Instagram, and then you could still put the YouTube link there if you want to actually refer to other videos that are there. So you could try putting a few of them on other platforms, and then referring persons to go click and subscribe to your YouTube channel for additional content.
Okay.
Good evening, Deborah.
Hi, evening.
I was wondering if I could get your email so I can email you based on, well, I'm interested in trying to monetize my website using Google AdSense. I've been having some problems, so I was wondering if I could just send you an email, and we could probably discuss what I may be doing wrong It's just maybe a bit off topic considering what you're doing here, but I mean, that I could probably
No,
get.
I mean, it's still digital marketing. So
Yeah.
if you're talking about monetizing your website by running advertisements or monetizing it by having persons be able to do purchasing.
Yeah, the first one. It sounds more like the first one because I've been playing around with Google AdSense.
Okay.
And I've been submitting the website, the content and everything, and they keep bouncing back and telling me that the website doesn't have the content.
Enough traffic.
Yeah, the required content so they could start putting ads on the website to get the recommended traffic. So
right. So you probably, the website doesn't have enough traction yet. So you may need to look at like your search engine optimization and your keywords and stuff to start get it optimized first, because Google ranks that first before they start using your website to advertise and get paid ads. So certainly I've dropped my email address there. That's more my partner's forte, my husband. He's more that specialty, but these emails will go to him as well. So yeah, for sure. But guys, all of this is digital. So it doesn't matter if you feel like it's off social. Social is just a gateway. It's one of the more popular gateways, but you have to start thinking about digital beyond just social media. All right. So as I said, these are showing you the different content types and the platforms. And then I want to take you into this brand. So this is a no social platform. This was website. So this is our website. And so last week I would have used the side of our business that does products, which is custom branding. So we print promotional items. But my target audience for digital and marketing consultancy are businesses. So those persons are not on social. And for those of you who have followed our Instagram page, you'll actually notice that mostly of what's on our Instagram page is product, because that platform gets better feedback for pricing on sales, and persons want to DM you and ask you how much something costs. But a business may not engage me on Instagram, and a lot of businesses, if you're a business to business type of company, then your clients do not necessarily make a purchase decision via your social media, but it's still important to have it for brand awareness. However, on our website, and as someone, Destiny Insurance would have asked us last week if a website is key to a business, and so I wanted to address that as well tonight as part of the content. So a functional website where somebody can either sign up for additional information, view more than just your basic products or services, which I mean, we have our services listed there. But now if you wanted to engage someone, for example, that same peer-to-peer lending facility, I'd want to know now all the different ones you offer. I'd want to know what your interest rate is at, all of those different product packages. I don't want a one-page scrolling website, but your website has to be functional for your target audience. So now I want you to help me. You're a small business. You're all small businesses. What part of the customer journey do you think this type of content serves? What area? What stage? So remember, we have awareness, you have consideration, you have purchase decision, and you have retention and advocacy. So which part of the customer journey does this portfolio feature fall under? Is it awareness? Is it consideration?
Yes, it looks like awareness. It looks like awareness.
All right, but so let me ask you, how did you get to my website? For those of you who said awareness. Hello?
What drew you
Oh, you mean your website?
Right, in the example, how did you get here?
Probably they typing keywords.
Right, but you've already passed my homepage and you've clicked onto something else. You've clicked onto my portfolio. So now you've gone past awareness. You know my business exists. So you've gone into a portfolio now where somebody's listing clients they've worked with, things they've done.
Oh, that's testimonials.
So you start to look at a consideration of, let me look at more of what this brand has done. So you're already aware that the brand exists. So you went to my website from wherever, but wherever you got my website from, you already know my brand. So now this portfolio, anybody who creates a portfolio, creating a catalog, creating your ebooks, those are materials for consideration. So persons would have heard about your brand by one of your platforms already, and they're now delving for more information. So this is content, guys, that I want you to just get past. This is what we do and about us and product and service. Start documenting the projects you've worked on. Start taking photos of the events that you've attended. Start recording all the properties you've sold and taking pictures with your sold sign at the properties so people know that you have experience. So start going beyond just the basics. So this actually is more consideration than awareness, unless you really like to read and it's the first time you come on my website and you're reaching to the portfolio. And I don't know how you'd have found the website other than, as somebody said, keywords. But yes, awareness and consideration, but usually a portfolio or a catalog is now when you're giving more thought. Yes, you've interacted with the brand already and now you're thinking even deeper. So now this same customer we worked with, it's a barbershop, Fade Room. So their Instagram page has lots of photos of haircuts and photos of the shop, but they started an idea to feature the barbers. What category do you think this falls into in the customer journey? Again.
What are they again?
So they are awareness, so brand awareness. First, maybe first or second interaction with you. And then you have, yes?
If I had said meet the team, would that be correct?
Yes, yeah, well, no, meet the team is the theme. See, I have it there, theme, but the part of the customer journey. So remember, the customer journey is awareness. The first time or second time the person comes into contact with your brand. Okay. Then consideration is the rule of, it takes anywhere between 7 to 11 interactions with a brand for someone to make a purchase decision. So that's the consideration, where I start looking for more information about you before I decide to do business with you. Then I may use something to influence your purchase decision, which is the purchase stage. And then retention and advocacy, where I know your brand, maybe I've bought the product one time, but then I keep coming back. Something makes me keep coming back, or I enjoy it so much that I even start to repost it myself and tell other people about it. So Aisha has all three. Aisha has awareness, consideration, purchase decision. So step
actually purchase decision for this one. The awareness and consideration would have been for the one before.
Okay, why? Tell me why you think purchase. I mean, think about it as you or you have a son or a husband. Why would this influence your purchase decision?
For me, well, I would have, okay, so let's say I would have seen them on your website, right? So I would be now would want to, okay, fine, oh, this barber place, which I actually did it for in real life. So I went on to their IG page and started to scroll. So it would be for me consideration, because I don't know them, as well as purchase decision because now I'm able to see the designs of the haircuts that they do and all of that, so I can decide whether or not I would want to, or want my husband or my son
to go there. All right, so that the platform for sure, Aisha, can fall into all three, and that's what a social media platform is good for. Meet the team sometimes can be either consideration or purchase decision, and I have the content type as image and text because here what I want to highlight is this is somebody whose experience in cutting hair is now 14 years. You now have a name that you go, and you already have a name who you want to ask for when you go. So it can cross between consideration and purchase decision, one. And two, yes, this content is also on their website when I'm going to take you there. So again, you start having your content cycle through different platforms and you didn't have to create it 2 times. So when you're doing a content plan, you start thinking about how you use one piece of content to influence across the customer journey as well as across multiple platforms, because it makes it so much easier. It's less work for you to do, but you have to plan it. So that's very good. And as you can see, it's never black. It's not just black and white all the time. Sometimes it falls into more categories. Again, here now on the same platform, they have shots of the barber shop. And if you read, so their theme here is their unique value is comfort and convenience. So this is a barber shop now that has a bar with a fridge, and at the bottom of the bar it has charging ports where you can charge your phone or you can plug in your laptop while you're waiting on your barber. What part of the customer journey do you think this is trying to influence or trying to fit into?
Theme.
Anyone? So remember, awareness. Is this awareness? Is this consideration? Is this trying to influence the person to purchase decision?
I think it's
Retention. All right, I see a lot of purchase decision.
And retention.
And retention, because if I know that this is a convenience for me, I've used it before. Yes, Rohan, there's raving fan, so that's at the end. When you get that advocacy, so the person starts to reshare that, hey, I'm sitting here at the barbershop, and then take a selfie and then post and say, just charging my phone at the charging station, waiting to get a trim. That becomes user generated content now, because it's a convenience and a comfort, and it's a problem. A lot of males have the problem that they go to the barber and the wait is too long. Just like a lot of times we may have that problem when we go to the salon, to the nails or hair, and the wait is too long. They've created an atmosphere that appeals to their customers that looks like a bar, where you can buy a beer and sit and charge your phone and hang out a little big screen TV on the
So let's
wall.
get some work.
Or you can angle because let me tell you, their Friday night crowd is big TV and game on the screen and stuff. But why? Because people know that that environment exists, and so all they've done is take a photo of what's already there. And it comes back to the same concept that I was saying, where you use what already exists in your business as what was your unique value that you're trying to offer the client, and just show people. All it is communication. So you work out what it is you want to provide for your customer, and if you're doing it, document it. So purchase awareness, less so awareness, but purchase decision and retention, and even consideration. Maybe you want to switch your barbershop now. And then they went a little further. So they opened in
testimonial.
No, it's not a testimonial. I'm gonna tell you what it is. They opened in 2018 and they were getting their crowd and everything like that. But their vision, they are two young men who just like
men's forum.
We want that setting at hairdresser and you talk to the hairdresser and stuff. They were not getting that feel because they realized that men don't talk about issues with each other. They don't talk. So the aim was to actually create something in the barbershop where the men were now actually going to have a topic and engage persons on the random day they decided to shoot, and engage the customers who walked into the barbershop about these different topics on mental health. And let me see if I can get it up. No, let me not use that. You can still see my screen now. You seeing the video? Can you see the video? Can I get yes, no, maybe?
Deborah, we still seeing the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me see what I could do. Okay, you're still seeing the presentation.
Yeah.
And it has escaped. So let me stop. Let me share screen. Okay. Seeing it now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I won't play all of it. Can you hear it?
It's very, very
I'm not hearing it at all.
Very
No, we're
low?
not.
All right. It's not coming over at all either on my side. All right. So essentially, what they did is create an interview forum in the barber shop. One of the owners and whoever was in the shop at the time, or maybe they invited one particular expert, and the different topics were about mental health. They talked about depression. They talked about violence, gender-based violence. I don't know if you remember when we were having that spike in Jamaica on domestic violence reports in the news. And so this was something that they actually put together and started to do partnerships with the Jamaica Mental Health Advocacy Network, as well as they actually don't pay for the production. They partnered with the person who does the production as a sponsor, because that person is also a male and a patron of the business. And they started something like this, and so far they've done when Black Lives Matter had blown up, they did police brutality and racism, and their following and their whole audience exploded. And it had way less to do with the traffic that they were getting because of the haircuts, and more about the fact that they knew who their buyer persona was, and they started tapping into what was important to their buyer persona. So they even got they coincidentally, during this depression section, they had a police officer in the barbershop trimming, and even he started to talk about what was lacking for them as police when they go through these violent interactions at work. And it became something that they're now working on their website. And I wanted to show you the crossover on the website as well, where the same area where it says podcast, they started using Instagram for the videos, then they switched over to YouTube, and now they'll have the same videos on the website. So they've already shot the videos, the episodes are finished and up, but it's another place to host the very same content. And so this part of the content now starts to transcend all areas of the customer journey. So especially a website, guys, if you use your website to be functional, to be able to request quotes, they can shop on the website, you have testimonials, and you have your meet the team all in one place, then you hit almost every area of your customer journey in one digital platform. And that is a functional website. But you still need social to drive traffic to the website. And that came back to the same question you asked Levi about, you may not be getting the traffic yet. So maybe you need to announce, new website up, or maybe you need to target small businesses to say, you want to see your business seen, but you would have to create a document that shows how much traffic your website has and why would I want to pay to advertise on it.
Okay.
All right. So as you can see, this is one business across various different platforms. And so they can cross on their website. They have an Instagram feed running. So all that the content on their Instagram runs at the base of their website. They have their YouTube, but it's the same videos on their Instagram that they post. They just cut them, make them shorter, use them, and then they use the Instagram to feed to, hey, the full length video is on YouTube, sorry. And because your Instagram and Facebook accounts can be linked, it also just automatically feeds to their Facebook as well. So we recommend for small businesses to start with 2 platforms, but the truth is that because you can link them and cross-pollinate your content, then this becomes something that becomes a little easier for you to do, especially because you can hit out Instagram and Facebook in one go. And so what that did is become, last week we talked about known versus unknown audiences. the very content they were using to just create this behind the scenes videos with audience and people who they already knew, they were already customers. So clearly the intention here was more retention. Do you think that any of the participants really go anywhere else when they're going to trim their hair? Unless
Nope.
it is that they're not in the parish or they're not, do you think any of the guests who they invite who maybe live in the area may have changed where they cut their hair now?
No.
Yes, they may have influenced them, of course.
All right. So it doesn't have to be, again, it goes beyond product and just product and service. We cut hair. But they've created an environment that on any given day you may come in there and you don't know what's happening. They may be watching a game, they may be have something in there giving away, or they may be shooting, and you become part of this conversation and this environment where all the views are expressed freely and openly. They've gotten views that the owners of the barbershop didn't necessarily agree with, and they use that as their disclaimer. But it was still a forum for communication for men, which was something they found was missing for their target audience. And what I want you to do is think about that as well when you are thinking about your content. It's not just buy, sell, book me. It's about what's missing, what are the problems, what are the pain points, or what is the void that's there for your target audience, and how can you fill it. It doesn't have to all be free, but if you start to create value, then you'll start to see that there are persons who would actually pay for more or be converted from what they were doing before. So you have to start thinking outside the box. And this kind of thing now led to where they actually got a free feature, which was mass marketing. And in the first presentation, we talked about the expense of mass marketing versus digital that you can do for free. But it's a something is a feature that's a very expensive feature if you try to pay for it yourself. And they were featured in Flair magazine out here about the whole program. They actually got a sponsor to come on board from that feature, a lot of things. But guess what they did? They did one video, one episode, and you know what they did? They chopped the one video up into three parts. So they had episode 1 part 1, episode 1 part 2, episode 1 part 3, and made each video like 3 minutes. But in one day they shot like 3, and they release it every Sunday. So they shot like 3 weeks worth of content in just the one time. So you have to be strategic when you plan. You can actually shoot a video or do a photo shoot that's reused in several different ways. So when you go through and you start to match your content to your customer journey, that's when you start to see now why. Remember the connect the dot slides. Why were you doing the content? Is it to entertain? Is it to connect? Is it education? And what part of the customer journey is it falling into, and which platform? So when you go through your brain dump exercise and you reach the end, then you come to this slide and you go through, okay, pick this from the brain dump list. Where does it fall? What type of content is it, and which platform is it going to be on? And one of the easiest things to do, as I mentioned, is if you pick 2, remember that Instagram and Facebook are basically like the same. So if you pick Instagram and you pick a website, it's also very easy to create an email with the very same Instagram post that you've created and just send it out to your email database, right? So you start to think about how you reuse the very same content you have and expand on it so that it is not just a one-hit wonder, and it starts to also show consistency across all of your platforms. So any questions? We have 15 minutes. Any questions? Anybody want to go back to their exercise and get any additional help? What do you guys want to use your 15 minutes to do? I see a lot of activity in the chat. Yes, so Paula, this has always I mean, some barbers, yes, it happens more on a one-on-one situation. It may not happen across the barbershop, but it does. And I mean, them talk about women, they talk about relationship, they talk about parties. And so even one of the topics they did was about a lot of party promoters in that part of the island. The shop is in Montego Bay, where go to the shop. The owner of the barbershop also keeps events. And so that was a topic because it started to trickle down. They realized that a lot of their customers who were coming once a week now coming once a month. And when they ask, money rough because no event now keep. So the speaker box man can't get paid, the truck man can't get paid, the liquor man can't get paid. And so the effect and impact of COVID-19 on entertainment was one of their topics because they had a fall off in business and they actually went through and called the clients to find out what was happening. How do I upload the same content simultaneously on other platforms? So Karen, that's something we'll cover next week when we're talking about your content calendar, and we'll get into scheduling tools. There are some that allow you to do it all at once. So one centralized place and you just click which platforms you want it to go onto and it just publishes at the time and date that you select it for. But there are platforms like that when we go into the content calendar next week. That exist. Some are limited in terms of the free versions. They don't allow you to do more than a certain amount of platforms, and so you pay for the upgrade, etc. But that list is going to be in the presentation for next week. So you have to come next week, Karen.
Not a problem.
All right, or at least register so that when the presentation is sent out, you'll be on the list. All right. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
What I want to ask, if I want to, for example, I have a podcast that I want to upload on say YouTube, can that be facilitated?
Well, what you would have to do is create.
Doesn't have any picture. It doesn't have any image.
So you would have to create the image side of it. So what do you want running in the background? So you could actually create slides that go with the podcast and upload that, like a slideshow.
Okay.
Right? You could actually create that and have it uploaded. So you have the voiceover already from your podcast. You could actually create either animated videos or a slideshow with relevant reference slides to what you're talking about during the podcast and have that uploaded as a video.
But I'm a novice, so how do I do that?
It's as simple as recording your screen while just like I went through this this PowerPoint in slide view. You find an app that records your screen and you time the slides to the length of the podcast or the length of the presentation. And you just record your screen while going through so what you could do is actually play the podcast in the background and time how the slides are animated
across
to it until you're right. And then you have
I think I know what I'm gonna do. I have some techie sons, so I'll have them
right. So put them to work. Put them to work. So that's something you can try. You don't have to have the video content necessarily.
Yes, I just remember they did something like that for me before. So I somebody did this podcast for me, and I was just wondering how do I, have it
rework for you,
right on YouTube. So okay. Thanks.
All right. Anyone else? Any other questions? Yes.
Deborah. Sorry. Is somebody else before me?
Go ahead.
Do you want to go ahead, Levi, or should I go ahead?
You go ahead.
Go ahead, Paulette.
Oh, okay. Deborah, I have been doing online. I've been doing YouTube videos about real estate issues, and I have somebody who works on the production of it, so it's nicely put together. But what I want some advice on is how it's already on YouTube, but I want to have it in other places, and what's the best way to do it. So each week we come up with a different subject. So we've talked about Airbnb, we've talked about the good side of it and the bad side of it. We've talked about squatting, all kinds of stuff, all real estate related. So we've obviously asking people to subscribe and to like, but I just feel like we should be doing a little bit more. So
where are you? You're asking them to subscribe and like during the YouTube video on YouTube?
After they've watched it. And we send them,
so
yes.
What you do is, if the videos are long, you cut snippets. You can either try to create a trailer or you can just cut the first minute of it and post it on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also post it in IG stories, just snippets in your IG stories. IG stories is only 15 seconds per slide. And then what you do in your IG stories is you say, click the link in my bio to watch the full video, and you put the link to the video in the Instagram bio. But you can only put one link in your bio. So it's either your website or the videos. So what you can do is maybe you put the link in the bio for the day or the 2 days that you're promoting the video for, and then you change it back to your website for the rest of the week, and you do that every week. But what you want to do, as I had mentioned to Rebecca, is push the traffic to where the full length video is from another platform. So use IGTV. What you can do too is go live on the person who is doing your production during YouTube, go live on Instagram or Facebook during the filming.
Oh, okay. Well,
go live from the page.
I don't want to take all the time.
Right? So, but I mean, I'm sure it's helping other people. So you already have the big camera and the lighting and everything is nicely done and set up. So you just need one extra person with a phone, or you set your phone somewhere where it catches even behind the scenes. And then you'll have you don't have to even have the full video, but you catch a behind the scenes video, and then you upload the behind the scenes video to drive traffic to the completed video when it's uploaded on YouTube.
Oh, all right. Okay. And I know I still need to speak to you about my vision, etc. But I've just been very
because
busy.
we kept missing each other.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining about being busy. I'm glad to be busy.
So guys, we've been in touch with a lot of persons. Feel free to check in with the JMMB team. Feel free to email them, email me, and we will definitely be in touch with you, help you out, give you feedback, help you work through what you need to work through. And if you throw up your hands in the air, then maybe you need to just bring us on board and let us do it for you. Or we have partners as well who we can refer. There have been also network with each other. There was a Trinidadian business who we also reached out to last week. He's not here today, but that's somebody who does a little bit of what we want to actually expand into. And so it's somebody, you can work digitally and create those alliances, guys, where you get a discount because of your JMMB family, or you trade it off for something else and you guys work together and you get the exposure from it. So remember to use the chat to put your business information there for each other, so that you can also benefit from working together. You may have complementary businesses in here. Peter again, no, I'm not a DBJ. We're not an approved DBJ provider. But JMMB Resource Center can put you on to that. They should be able to, I think.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I'm not wrong. Right. So DBJ vouchers, those approved providers who accept the vouchers, you can apply through the financial institution.
So Natalie O'Brien says that she offers web development services. She is one of the Trinidadian participants.
Natalie, please drop your email address.
All contact information.
All contact information, guys. Because we do websites, but sometimes we're busy, so we can outsource, we can refer. And guys, listen, that's another strategy. Creating referral programs if you're at capacity with people who do the same thing you do, because you may be at a capacity problem where you cannot take something on, and you don't want to take it on and not deliver, and you don't want to do a poor job. So you create strategic alliances, you refer out, take a referral fee, take a percentage, create a relationship with other businesses in your industry. We have to get out of the mindset of strict competition and we don't love them, because sometimes it's a synergy between small businesses. You know, they have resources you don't have, you have resources they don't have, and we have to stick together and we have to work together. So everybody make sure you drop in your information for each other so that you can engage.
Yes, so that we can also, if you notice when you got the worksheet and the presentation, you'd have gotten a directory with the activities, their business, how to contact them. So if you want us to include your information, please just put it in the chat so that we can include you in the list.
Or you can send us an email.
Right, so it seems nobody has any other questions. However, go again?
No, I'm saying nobody else is, everybody quiet.
However, if anything comes to mind, you know, you can reach us, send me an email, send Natalia, send Deborah an email. We are here to assist you. If you notice, we also, the last poll that we launched, we want to really get a feedback of how you want us to assist you. So if there is an option there that we didn't mention that you want assistance, please feel free to send it to us as well. So I think that is it for tonight. We got some very, very good information. Let's all make sure that we put it into practice. If you need help again, we are here. And then next week, now we're one step closer to creating your marketing plan. We are going to be looking at your calendar. So we're now going to be looking at when you're going to be putting out this content that we discussed this afternoon. Are you going to be using holidays, events as your benchmark? So think about what it is that you want to do for your business and come prepared to have a very engaging conversation next week.
Finish the exercises, guys. Finish the brain dump, because it's the same ideas we're going to create the calendar from. So I want you to have the document ready.
Yes. So we want to make sure that when you are finished with this workshop, you are in a position that you can put together an impactful marketing strategy, okay? So make sure you take advantage of the opportunity. So that's it for tonight. We meet again next week, Tuesday, same time, same place, 6:30. If you haven't registered for next week's session, make sure you do it, okay? So enjoy the rest of your night, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Hi, is the information for registration for next week going to be up again? Because I don't think I have the...
Rebecca, I'll send it to you after.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right, good night, everyone.
Bye there, Brent. Thank you again.
No problem.
Good night. Stay safe, everyone.
You too. Good
Thank
night.
you all. Good session.
Thank you.